Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Bellingham Sportsplex for tonight's ACHA Pac 8 matchup between the Western Washington Vikings and the UC San Diego Tritons. The second of 4 games here this weekend at Bellingham Sportsplex for the Vikings. Newsflash, the Vikings are still hot. Winners of their last 11 games. The team enters tonight sitting tied for first place in the Pac 8 with a set of games upcoming against the Cal Berkeley Bears. The Vikings entered this weekend sitting fourth nationally among ACHA D2 teams in goals scored, with 6 of their skaters in the top 40 in points for ACHA D2. And some of those skaters are Andrew Fan, Aaron James, and Brett Brumbaugh, the top line for the Vikings. There's a lot of unsung heroes on this team, however, and one of those has been Kyler Slate, who I had a chance to speak with pregame. Here's Kyler.
In the product that uh, we envisioned come to fruition. It's really nice to get the wins and see success, but that can't be the entire story. You know, the story's still that the job's not finished, and even though we've had the early success, we got to keep our heads down and keep working and just get better every day.
We hear the names Andrew Fan, Aaron James, Jacob James, Brett Brumbaugh every single night. But who are some of the guys that maybe fly under the radar on this team?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those guys are all great hockey players, but hockey is not an individual sport; it's a team sport. So you know, it's really everybody on the team. You can't single out anybody out in particular. You know, we see the third and fourth line playing their roles every night. You know, Jackson Wojcicki, he's a huge factor in our team on and off the ice. Andre Shapiro, great skater. He adds a lot of energy to our team. And Ethan Sandberg, he's real big hitter. So just everybody that you know the names that you see in the newspaper and online and stuff. Though those are the guys putting the goals in the net, but everybody else they're doing their part.
Big games this Sunday and Monday against Cal. What do measuring stick type games like that mean for a group like yours?
It's we get to see what we're made of. You know, it's real competition that hopefully is going to bring out the best in our team. And we get to measure ourselves up against those teams that we know are good, and hopefully see our best hockey come out in those games.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Back upstairs.
Welcome back to Bellingham Sportsplex as the Vikings and the Tritons get set to go at it for the second of 2 games here this weekend. between the two teams. Starting for the Vikings up front will be Aaron James, Andrew Fan, and Brett Brumbaugh. On defense will be Cooper Hunter Smith and Ethan Secord, and in goal will be number 40, Jack Wilder for the Vikings. Teddy Bear Toss night here in Bellingham. First player to score a goal for the Vikings here tonight. Bears will be released from the heavens, and we'll be able to pick those up and donate them to charity. We flash you back to 4 years ago. As Patrick Pearson had the Teddy Bear Toss goal for the Vikings that sent Bears from the heavens. Will it be him tonight, or will it be a newcomer to the Vikings? We are off and ready. We are ready to go here in Bellingham. As we are underway, the Vikings win the early draw. They get it over to Andrew Fan. Fan. Over to Secord. And here's James busting into the Triton zone. Out front of Andrew Fan. That's going to be collected by the Tritons back the other way. Body there by Brett Brumbaugh. And here comes Ethan Secord. Secord going to chip it into the Triton zone. That's Matthew Malo, the goaltender for the Tritons here tonight. Here's Ethan Secord. The shot that sails wide. Going to be played by Malo. Going to be swung around. Here's Brett Brumbaugh. Brumbaugh looking for Aaron James out front. Over to Hunter Smith. The shot from the high point there. It's loose out front. Almost covered by Malo. Going to be collected by Aaron James. James from the right circle. Tries to find Brumbaugh down low. Out there is Shapiro. Here's Ethan Secord from the right point. Going to chip it. Secord. Ethan Secord surveying, looking for an option. Going to get it down low to Jackson Wojcicki. Wojcicki. Cooper Hunter Smith. Hunter Smith finds Sandberg out front. Sandberg couldn't quite get a clean shot there. Looking for his first goal of the season. Battling down there is Tartaglia for the Tritons. Battle there. Andre Shapiro. Shapiro. Sandberg tried to get it across the ice. Back the other way. Here comes Sean Miller, who had the lone goal for the Tritons last night. He plays it in. Here's Jesse Deegan. Deegan tries to chip it off the glass. Jesse Deegan. Going to be stolen away by Fighter. Fighter going to try to find Lee out front. Jackson Wojcicki going to chip it off the wall and back into neutral ice. Play there by Andre Shapiro. He'll get a change. Glad you could join us from Bellingham Sportsplex. Kyler Sauté. Here's Tristan Lee. Shot blocked there by Jesse Deegan. That's going to be covered by Jack Wilder. We get a whistle. Thank you. Going to be played behind the net by Grebe or Marley for the Tritons. Here's Harrison Webster. He plays it back into neutral ice. DeFreitas for the Tritons. Back into the zone is Adrian. Collected by Cooper Hunter Smith. Gets it up to Kyla Sate. DeFreitas. Big body there by Declan Quinn. Tritons able to keep it in the zone. They get the early pressure here. Ethan Secord. Secord the other way. 3-on-2 opportunity for the Vikings. Secord looking for an option out front. It's going to be played by the Tritons out into neutral ice. It's going to be collected. Here's Patrick Pearson. Pearson gets it to Secord. Pearson going to play it in. Collected by DeFreitas. Battle there. Jacob James going to come out with it, get it across to Secord. Secord tried to pass off the wall to Chapman. Chapman battling down low, tries to find Pearson, who had the teddy bear toss goal 4 years ago. We get a whistle. 15:58 left in the first period. No score. Glad you could join us from Bellingham, Washington. The second of 4 games here this weekend between the Vikings and a couple California teams. Tomorrow night, they will begin a 2-game set with the Cal Berkeley Bears. Tied up along the wall by Dukakis. Taken out by Tartaglia. Nicholas Sawai going to keep it in and steered on Malo. It's going to be covered up. Face off, tied up, taken away by the Vikings. Here comes Ethan Secord the other way. 3-on-2 opportunity for the Vikings. Here's Ethan Secord. He busts in. Good save there by Malo. And Andrew Fan. It's going to be stolen away by Sekaguchi. Back the other way. Here comes DeFreitas for the Tritons. Stolen away by Brett Brumbaugh, and he's going to go for a skate himself. Brumbaugh with a burst of speed across the blue line. Tries to evade a couple sticks there. Kept in by Andrew Fan. Not for long, though. Here come the Tritons the other way. Tritons in across the blue line. Here's Fider. Fider with a shot blocked there by Secord. Going to be taken by Aurelia. He's just going to play it off the glass. Out of play. We get a whistle with 14:35 left in the first period. So the face-off will be to the right of Jack Wilder with 14:35. Fan out there to take the draw. He wins it. Aurelio steers it away from harm. And here comes Brett Brumbaugh. He tried to spring a pass to Aaron James. Andrew Fan with the puck. Fan across the blue line. Looking to make a move. He goes towards the net, and that's going to be covered by Malo. Face off won by Jackson Wojcicki. He gets it back to Secord. Secord with the pass into the corner to Shapiro. Going to be taken out by Marley for the Tritons. Here's Ethan Secord. Secord gets it to Shapiro. He neutralized. Big body there by, looks like that was Dukakis. Peter Dukakis for the Tritons. Big body there on Ethan Secord. To be collected by Secord back in neutral ice. No offsides. Played to Tristan Anderson. Shapiro tried to pass it out front. Here's Hunter Smith. He gets it to Anderson. Anderson couldn't quite collect it. Hunter Smith is just going to play it into an array of bodies and back the other way. Here comes Rolnick. Good job to steer it away by Cooper. Hunter Smith going to be collected by Jackson Wojcicki. He gets it to Hunter Smith. Smith going to go for a little bit of a skate here. He jumps it in. That's going to be whistled icing, but looks like the goaltender may have played that puck, so we'll see if they where they put the face off. Okay, so it will be icing. 13:06 left in the first period. Shots 5-1 thus far in favor of the Vikings. Out there to take the draw is Jackson Wojcicki against Luca Tartaglia. Tartaglia wins it. Sean Miller with a shot. Glove there by Wilder. Good save by Jack Wilder for the Vikings, who is getting his first start here this weekend. Played over to Wilder. He couldn't quite glove it. Here's Declan Quinn with the puck for the Vikings. Quinn going to get it up to Slate. It's going to be played in the zone. Gloved yet again by Wilder. Good stop there. 2 straight gloves. Face-off won by the Tritons. They get a quick shot on Wilder. It's steered away. Here's Jesse Deegan battling. Going to be stolen away by Patrick Pearson. He gets it up to Tyler Chapman. Chapman with a burst of speed. Tries to find Pearson out front. Here's Nicholas Sawai. Sawai with a shot from the point. Tried to get it to Pearson yet again. Back the other way. Here's Nicholas Sawai into the Triton zone. Sawai with a shot on goal. Seen by Malo. We get a whistle. With 2:12 left in the first period. Shot 6-5 in favor of the Vikings. The Vikings will have a first responders night tomorrow night as they play host to the Cal Bears. Puck drop will be at 5:10 local time. Face off to the right of the Tritons net. Going to be won by the Vikings. Here's Andrew Pham with it. That's going to be played into neutral ice by the Tritons all the way down. Here's Ethan Secord. Gets it up to Andrew Fan. Fan across the blue line finds Brumbaugh. Brumbaugh going to try to pass it to James out front. Couldn't quite get it to him. Brumbaugh finally gets it to James. Here's Andrew Fan battling in the corner. Fan has 55 points in 14 games this season. Here's Aaron James. Gets it down low to Fan. Back to James out front. It just squeaks by the right post. Almost a teddy bear toss goal. Here's Andrew Fan. Fan tries to find somebody in the left circle. Couldn't quite get it to anybody. And back the other way. Here comes Rolnick. Rolnick charging. He takes a tumble and Jack Wilder's loose down in his crease. It's like he ran into Ethan Secord back there. Here's Brumbaugh. Played up to Fan. Fan. So Vikings look to break open the scoring. Secord with a shot from the high slot. That's going to be gloved by Malo. We get a whistle. Face off one shot from Deegan. That's going to be played by Tristan Anderson. Here's Anderson. That's going to be taken away by Fighter. Fighter to Shapiro. Fighter. Played in neutral ice. Here's Chris Fighter. Shot that sails wide. That's going to be collected by Shapiro. He's going to try to string a pass to Jackson Wojcicki. Couldn't quite get it. That's going to go the length of the ice for icing. We get a whistle with 10:16 left in the first. Here comes Tristan Lee into the neutral ice. He's stolen away by Declan Quinn. Here's Quinn. Across the blue line, gets it to Slate. Back out front to Quinn. Quinn trying to stuff it in near side. Couldn't quite get it. Here's Quinn with yet another opportunity. That's going to be covered by Malo. Good opportunity there for the Vikings to get on the board. Face off won by the Vikings. Tyler Chapman with a shot pass. It's going to be taken away by Collender. Pearson with the shot. On goal, bar down. He scores the Teddy Bear toss goal. And here come the Bears. Patrick Pearson does it again. It is 1-0 Western. Patrick Pearson, as he did, we'll flash you back to 2021. He scores the Teddy Bear toss goal against the UW Huskies. And he does it again here tonight. You love to see it. All the players out on the ice collecting the Bears up. And we see the youth players from the junior Bellingham Blazers helping out the Vikings, collecting all the Bears. Look at them go. .9:43 left in the first period. Love to see it. Good play there by Patrick Pearson going bar down. The Vikings lead it 1-0. Pat got Carver Johnson in the box with a friend. We'll zoom in on the little friend that joined Carver Johnson in the box. Patrick Pearson, his 6th goal of the season, makes it 1-0 Western. Here's Sean Miller with a shot that sails right wide. It's going to be collected by the Tritons down low. They get it back to Nicholas Sawai. Played off a loose stick there by Sean Miller. Brumbaugh trying to spring a pass to Secor. That's going to be played down low. At the point, shot on. It sails wide. It's going to be back. Here's Aaron James. Drops a pass to Secord. Secord down to James. Shot on, and that's going to be seen by Malo. We get a whistle. Fourth line out there for the Vikings battling down there is Ethan Sandberg and Tristan Anderson. Puck is frozen along the board. Sandberg gets it to Aurelio. Aurelio from the left point. Shot on. Sails up and wide. Here's Andre Shapiro. Shapiro ballot with Rolnick. Up to Rolnick yet again. Kept in by Cooper Hunter-Smith. Not for long though. Cooper Hunter-Smith gets it back to Aurelio in the Viking zone. Nearly a turnover. The Tritons get it all the way down. Here's Cooper Hunter-Smith. Played there by Rolnick. Back to Hunter-Smith. Shot on from the goal line. Looks like that was Adrian, Johnny Adrian for the Tritons. That was covered by Wilder. We get a whistle with 7:58 left in the first period. So that was Alex Tatoian with the first goal of the evening for the UC San Diego Tritons. Played into the zone on Wilder. That's battling down there. Another shot on goal. Triton's really pressuring. Here's Collender with a shot from the point that sails left wide of the net. Here's Sandberg. Here's Jackson Wojcicki from the right circle. Shot sails wide. Jesse Deegan trying to get it down low. Play by DeFreitas. Reeve gets it out. Rolnick gonna play it in, and the Tritons go for a change. So will the Vikings. 4:11 left in the first period. Try to get it up into neutral ice. Here's Harrison Webster. Jackson Wojcicki trying to play back into the Viking zone. And here's Harrison Webster, the waffle man here tonight. If he scores 2, everybody gets a waffle coupon to Sweetest Waffles, 50% off 1 regular waffle. As we get a whistle with 3:50 left in the first period. Here come the Tritons back the other way. It's going to be Sekaguchi. Sekaguchi with a little bit of a spinorama, trying to pass it into the slot. Going to be taken away by Declan Quinn. The Vikings are going to get we're going to have some pushing and shoving. The Vikings are going to go to the power play. That's going to be Chris Fider going to the box for a goaltender interference. So the Vikings will not go to the power play. It'll be 4-on-4. Harrison Webster getting a little bit of a rough there. He's like, don't touch my goalie. Face-off will be to the right of Jack Wilder. Jacob James out there to take the draw. Open ice opportunity here for the Vikings. They look to regain the lead, go into the locker room. Up a goal, hopefully. Here's Jacob James, going to try to stretch it past to Tyler Chapman. Chapman makes a move at center ice. He shoots it. Sails wide. Nicholas Hawaii played out front to Tyler Chapman. Chapman with a shot on goal. Pat away by Malo. Here's Jacob James. He plays it down low to Chapman. Chapman trying to find Jacob James, and that's going to be covered by Malo yet again. Matthew Malo, good stops here. Shots 13-9 in favor of the Vikings. 1-1 on the scoreboard. Seconds left in the 4-on-4. Here comes Ethan Secord with a burst of speed across the blue line. Secord gets it to Aaron James out front. James avoids a bit of a collision, gets it to Fan. Fan, below the goal line, tries to make a move out front. That's going to be played the other way on Tristan Lee. And what do we have here? We're going to get two guys behind the play for roughing. That's going to be Aaron James and looks like that's Dukakis, Peter Dukakis for the UC San Diego Tritons. 1:36 left. Face off to the right of Malo. Going to be taken by Kyler Slutty, won by the Vikings. Cooper Hunter-Smith gets it down low. Here's Gerke with it for the Tritons. He's going to go the other way. Gerke with a shot that sails off the glass. Out of the box is Harrison Webster and Chris Fider. Play back into neutral ice. The Vikings have numbers if they hurry. Marley, big body there from Declan Quinn, but they're going to call it a penalty. So the face-off will be to the right, the left of Jack Wilder, going to be won by the Tritons. Sean Miller trying to find Tristan Lee out front. Here's Miller with the puck. Miller gets it over to Tatoian. Tatoian with the shot. Tatoian has the lone goal here tonight for the Tritons. Tatoian from the left dot gets it over to Miller with a shot, blocked there by Aurelio. Miller, shot from the point, or the high slot there by DeFreitas, seen all the way by Wilder. Here's Jesse Deegan. It'll be played by Lee. Here's Miller with 30 seconds left in the period. Miller. Played by a slash, and that's going to be out in neutral ice. What do we have here? We're going to get the Vikings are going to go be 4-on-4 here for the next minute 12. For the rest of the period, at least, it'll be 4-on-4. Face-off will be to the right of Malo. 21 seconds left. The Vikings try to get quick one. Here's Andrew Fan with a puck. Fan looking towards the slot. Fan makes a move. Couldn't quite get clean wood on it, and it's back into neutral ice. Here's Fan going to seal it away. One last rush opportunity. Here's Secord. Secord busts in. Gets it to Chapman out front. He scores! What a pass by Ethan Secord over to Chapman. And he buries it. The Vikings have a 2-1 lead with 3 seconds left in the first period. Tyler Chapman, his 15th goal of the season. The Vikings will go into the locker room with the lead. Shots 14-10 in favor of the Vikings. Very eventful first period. Patrick Pearson scores the Teddy Bear toss goal. That was followed by an Alex Tatoian tying goal for the UC San Diego Tritons, and then Tyler Chapman with 3 seconds left in the first period makes it 2-1. The Vikings will go into the locker room with a lead. We will be back in about 20 minutes here from beautiful Bellingham Sportsplex. You're listening to Vikings Hockey on the Vikings YouTube channel.
What's your favorite band?
Ooh, favorite band? Secret, what's a good band?
Band? That's a hard question.
I know. Remember my AC/DC recently, bro. Getting back into that.
Motley Crue.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Ooh, I'd say Fleetwood Mac.
AC/DC?
Ariana Grande.
Modest Mouse. Oh, King Gibbs.
Motley Crue.
Metallica.
Favorite band? I have two favorite artists, Jake Paul and KSI.
I have to go with the Lumineers.
Chips it up to Declan Quinn. In on Loveland. Shot on goal. He scores! Declan Quinn! His second goal of the game. Gonzaga's chips it in. Battling with Julian Salactica. Here's Quinn. And a shot on goal! Declan Quinn has a hat trick. Looking for his fourth of the evening. Quinn. And Sawai keeps it in. Out front, Jackson Wojcicki, he scores! Jackson Wojcicki, his first goal of the season. And the Vikings have put up double digits. Down low to Wojcicki. Here's Bowers. 7 seconds left, and that'll do it. The Vikings get their 7th straight victory. 10-4. Here's Secord across the blue line. Cuts in. Shot on goal, he scores! Ethan Secord. Out there is Brett Brumbaugh. He collects it and tries to go for a skate himself. Here comes Brumbaugh. Shot on goal, he scores! Brett Brumbaugh goes for a skate. And Andrew Fan. Here comes Aaron James. 3-on-1 opportunity. Fan over to Brumbaugh. Brumbaugh from the slide. He scores! Brett Brumbaugh, his second goal of the game, and the Vikings have extended their lead to 3-1. Bulldogs play it all the way down into the Vikings' end. Secord gonna collect it for the Vikings. Go for a skate himself. Secord cutting in with his
your favorite band?
Ooh, favorite band? Secret, what's a good band?
Band? That's a hard question.
I know. Remember my AC/DC recently, bro. Getting back into the.
Motley Crue.
Oh yeah,
That's a good one.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Those are two good ones.
Ooh, I'd say Fleetwood Mac.
AC/DC.
Ariana Grande.
Modest Mouse. Oh, King Gibbs.
Motley Crue.
Metallica.
Favorite band? I have two favorite artists, Jake Paul and KSI.
I have to go with the Lumineers.
Welcome back to Bellingham Sportsplex as the Vikings and the Tritons get ready for period 2 here at Bellingham Sportsplex. The second of 2 games here this weekend for the Tritons and the Vikings. Set to take their draw is Andrew Fan. The Vikings will begin this period on the 4-on-4 for the next 51 seconds. And Declan Quinn will come out of the box and the Vikings will have a brief power play opportunity. Here's Andrew Fan with some relentless pressure to begin this period. He's trying to get it to Brett Brumbaugh. Andrew Fan. Up to Hunter Smith. Here's Andrew Fan with the puck. Fan makes a cut. In on goal, and it goes in. Andrew Fan. What a move. Good work by number 17 for the Vikings. His first goal of the evening, his 19th goal of the season. Andrew Fan, what a play there. Goes forehand, backhand with a little bit of patience. Beats Matthew Malo. Low side. The Vikings extend their lead to 3-1. Here's Andrew Fan in the box. Down low along the far wall, gets it over to Hunter Smith. Ethan Secord going to try to stretch a pass to Andrew Fan. He's going to beat the icing there. Fan tries to find it. Brett Brumbaugh out front and Malo able to cover. Looks like we'll have minors for both Aaron James and Logan DeVreitis. Some discussion at the scores table right now between the captains for each team, Sean Miller and Patrick Pearson out there discussing. Four players on the ice for both sides, looks like. Or at least that's what it's lined up as. Tristan Anderson head into the box. James, and looks like the faceoff is going to go all the way down. So looks like it'll be 5-on-4 for the next 2 minutes for the Tritons, as they look to cut the deficit to 1. Out there to take the draw is Luca Tartaglia. Lined up against Jacob James for the Vikings. Won by the Tritons. Miller gets it to the point. Back to Miller. Tartaglia tries to find, looks like that was Lee. Good save there by Wilder. We get a whistle. A lot of good action thus far here tonight. 3-1 on the scoreboard. Face-off won by the Tritons. Pass over to Miller. Back to Titoian. Back to Miller. Miller from the right circle. Saved there by Wilder. Gives a cover. Face off won by the Vikings. They play it all the way down. Marlowe going to settle it down. Shot 16-13 in favor of the Vikings thus far. They lead on the scoreboard 3-1. Played out into neutral ice for Tartaglia. Going to drop a pass off to Miller. That's going to be played behind the net by Lee. Lee down low. Going to get it to Miller. Miller surveying, trying to find somebody across the ice. Slate going to play it all the way down. Heard from Slate pre-game about some of the unsung heroes on this team. Good to hear from him. Here's Marley across the ice. Over to Sawai. Sawai going to play it, trying to find Pearson and stretch a pass to him. He played by Secor, and we're going to get a whistle. Looks like they're going to call probably a hand pass. Here's Tatoian with a shot that sails up and wide. Jackson Marley. Gonna play down low to Marley. Out front. Steered away by Hunter Smith. Here's Marley. Gonna find somebody out front. Aurelio for the Tritons. Here's Gerke with a shot from the high slot. Sails wide of Wilder. Turned over there by Adrian. Adrian gonna try to find Sakaguchi. Taken away by Pearson. 3 seconds left in the power play for the Tritons. And out of the box comes Tristan Anderson. We're back to full strength. Tritons come into the zone. Battling down there is Tatoian. Going to be played by Gerke from the high slot, and he scores! Hudson Gerke collects the loose puck and goes top shelf on Jack Wilder. It is 3-2 Vikings. Tritons take advantage of the tail end of that power play, or the shadows of the power play there. They cut the deficit to 1. Here's Ethan Secor going to get it up to Harrison Webster. Webster into the zone. Shot on, sails up and wide. Declan Quinn going to keep it in at the blue line. Not for long, though. Comes across the ice. Webster from the near wall chips it all the way in. Going to be collected by Collender. Slap shot from Declan Quinn from the right circle, top of the right circle. It's going to be played all the way back into the Viking zone. Going to be collected by Ethan Secord as he goes for a skate. Secord, a little inverted pass to himself. Secord from the left dot. Puck's going to sail all the way back into the Viking zone, or neutral ice. And here comes the Tritons. Marley going to play it all the way in. Over to Marley from the slot. Tritons are getting good positioning to open this period. Collender plays it in on Wilder. He steers it aside. Here's Ethan Secord. Secord looking to spring a pass. Collected by Fan, who's going to get it back into neutral ice. Out with it is Brett Brumbaugh. And here comes Tatoian. Tatoian in. Good shoulder there by Jesse Deegan. Keeps it out of the middle of the ice, and the Tritons get another opportunity there. It was Tartaglia battling down there. Here's Andrew Fan. Fan going to go the length of the ice. Going to get it off to Brett Brumbaugh. Back behind the play is Tartaglia. Good D there from Ethan Secord. No delayed offsides, and that's going to be played into the bench by Andre Shapiro out of play. We get a whistle with 13:11 left in the second period. Vikings leading 3-2. Shots finally favoring the Tritons here this weekend. They lead at 17-16. Back in the Triton zone. Here's Tyler Chapman. Chapman gonna get it to Pearson. Gonna be played out by Tartaglia. He's gonna play it back into neutral ice. Here's Cooper Hunter Smith. He's gonna chip it all the way in on Malo. Good battle there. Pearson gonna try to stuff it. Good opportunity there for the Vikings to extend their lead once again. Here's Tyler Chapman going to try to find Pearson out front. And Sean Miller the other way. Here come the Tritons. Good D there from Cooper Hunter Smith. Back the other way come the Tritons. They swing a shot on. Sails wide of Wilder. It's going to be collected by Cooper Hunter Smith in the corner. Going to be looking for an outlet pass here. Chapman gets it up to James. James in neutral ice going to be collected by Tyler Chapman. But back the other way, here come the Tritons. Sekaguchi gets it to Lee out front, blocked away by Wilder. Tritons getting a load of opportunities in the second period, trying to cash in and tie this game. They get a wraparound opportunity. It's stuffed near side, and Wilder's able to keep it out. Good play there by Jack Wilder. Face off won by the Tritons, played down. Here is Marley. That's going to be taken away by Secord. He gets it up to Harrison Webster, who's across neutral ice. Harrison Webster into the zone. That's going to be seen all the way by Malo. 11:20 left in the second period. 3-1, 3-2 Vikings. Here's Skylar Slate. Going to be taken away by Collender as he goes back into neutral ice. Here's Declan Quinn. Swings it across the ice to Ethan Secord. Going to reset behind the net to Aurelio. Aurelio going to get it up to Harrison Webster. Secord calling for a pass there. Kyla Slade able to get it across. Back into the Triton zone. Going to be collected by Declan Quinn. Quinn plays it down low. Harrison Webster trying to keep it low. Marley battling with Webster. Trying to be collected by Declan Quinn. Good pressure here from the Vikings. And Secord tries to keep it in. Cannot. He plays it in. Vikings able to get a change. Line one out there for the Vikings. Collender for the Tritons. Gets it up to Marley. Body there by Ethan Secord. Good body there. Marley going to play it all the way in. Here's Hunter Smith going to collect it himself. Going to get it up to Andrew Fan. Going to be turned over by Tatoian. Here's Tartaglia. Miller going to play it down low to Tartaglia. Here's him from the right circle. Hits the head of Wilder. Good save there. Miller to the point there to Fighter. Shot on goal by Sean Miller, and he scores, and they have tied this game. Sean Miller had a goal last night. He gets another here tonight. We are all tied up. 9:37 left in the second period. Tritons just controlling pretty much all the offensive opportunities ever since the Vikings got on the board in the second period. The goal from Andrew Fan at the beginning of it. The Tritons have just been rolling. They're owning the shot totals right now, 21-17. They lead in the period total 2-1. They tie this game up. It's just 3-3. Here's Jackson Wojcicki set to take the draw at center ice. Play down low to Malo. 9:30 left in the period. In the second period, Jesse Deegan shot from the high point there. Jackson Wojcicki trying to play it out front. Here's Andre Shapiro. Shapiro? Gonna play it low yet again. 9:10 left in the second period. Fighter. Here's Shapiro. The Tritons able to play it in neutral ice. Hunter Smith swings it in. Going to be played back into neutral ice. Hunter Smith for the Vikings. Going to go the length of the ice. Andre Shapiro dropped it off to, and here comes Sekaguchi in for the UC San Diego Tritons. He shoots and scores. Turned over by Jackson Wojcicki, and Sekaguchi gives the Tritons the lead. They have scored 3 unanswered goals. Saku Sekaguchi, freshman. The UC San Diego Tritons lead the Vikings. 8:26 left in the second period. 3 goals for the Vikings, 4 for the Tritons. Here's Tyler Chapman in the zone. The Vikings try to tie this game up yet again. Here's Malo out front. Good save there by the Tritons netminder. Jesse Deegan going to swing it back into the Triton zone. Played by Johnny Adrian up to Ken Rolick. Here's Rolick, avoids a check from Aurelio. Aurelio trying to check him off the puck. Played by Tatoian. Tatoian looking for an option. Over to Wilder. Here's Jacob James. He's going to play it off the stanchion, and that'll be whistled dead. 7:42 left in the second period. Jesse Deegan going to play it around. And here comes Antonio Aurelio. As the Vikings try to tie this game up. Malo. Pearson with some pressure. Bodied there by Aurelio. And here comes Fleming. Or sorry, that was Collender. A quick shot on Wilder. That's covered. Face-off won by the Vikings. Here's Ethan Secord. Good, relentless pressure from the Tritons. They are just hemming the Vikings in their own zone. Here's Hunter Smith. He gets it up to Webster. Not as cleanly, though, as the Tritons play it all the way in yet again. Here's Kyler Slate just going to play it into neutral ice, but that's going to be collected by Collender. Here's Secord. Going to recollect it. Gets it up to Harrison Webster. Webster up to Slate. Slate going to try to pass it to Quinn. That's going to be played offsides. The Vikings get it all the way back in. Here's Grebe. 3 forwards in the corner for the Vikings. As out with it comes DeFreitas. DeFreitas across the blue line. Cooper Hunter Smith sticking the puck away from DeFreitas. And Slate going to try to spring it past to Webster, who gets it to Ethan Secord. Secord across the blue line. Just going to chip it in. Try to get a change here. First line out there for the Vikings. Good pressure there from Aaron James. James from the right circle trying to find somebody. That's going to be played back in neutral ice. Nicholas Sawai going to reset. Get it to Andrew Fan. Fan over to Brumbaugh. Brumbaugh trying to find James. James out front. Over to Brumbaugh. He scores! Brett Brumbaugh ties the game for the Vikings. It is 4-4. Brumbaugh has his 20th goal of the season. Brett Brumbaugh, how about that? First line offense coming to life here in this period. Andrew Fan with a goal to begin this period. And here comes Aaron James yet again. James trying to evade a check there. Back the other way. Aurelio swings it in. It's going to be collected by Gierke. He gets it up to Rolnick. Aurelio going to play it back into neutral ice. Here comes Aaron James. James gets a pass to Fan. Here's Brumbaugh from the high slot. Blocked there by the Tritons. It's going to be played across the ice. Marley over to Rolnick. Going to be taken away by James. James from the right circle. Gets it to Fan. Fan off the crossbar. Almost goes in. Couldn't quite get it. Good offense from the first line. In this second period, exactly what the Vikings needed. Jacob James wins the faceoff to Tyler Chapman. Chapman from the right circle, shot, sails wide. Hunter Smith gonna get it down low to Pearson. And stolen away by Tartaglia. He gets it up to Miller. Sean Miller with a goal here in this period. It's going to be played down low to Jesse Deegan. Deegan going to collect it, get it up to Jacob James. Here comes the Vikings 3-on-2 opportunity if they hurry. Tyler Chapman busts in from the right circle, trying to find somebody out front. Chapman in the corner, trying to find Jacob James in the slot. And back the other way, here comes Titoian for the Tritons. Titoian looking for an option. Body there by Cooper Hunter Smith. Miller swings a shot on Wilder. He covers. 4:07 left in the second period. Shots 24-20 in favor of the Tritons thus far. Here come the Vikings the other way. Kyler Slate going to play it into the zone. In on Webster as Webster lays a little bit of a hit. Declan Quinn. Back the other way, 3-on-1 opportunity. Here's Sakaguchi for the Tritons. Tries to find DeFreitas out front. Battling down there, here's Kyler Slate. Declan Quinn, here comes Quinn. Gets it up to Webster. Webster tried to go for a hit there. Sakaguchi gets it to Lee. Good body there by Nicholas Sawai. Checks him off the puck, and here's Harrison Webster. Webster gets it to Secord, trying to find Slate in the slot. Couldn't quite get it to him. Declan Quinn gonna get it off to Marley. Slap shot opportunity for Aurelio. Aaron James and Secord. Here's Brumbaugh as he chips it in. 2:58 left in the second period. First line back out there for the Vikings. Going to be played across the ice. Here's Andrew Fan. Fan for the Vikings. Going to go for a bit of a skate here. Fan across the blue line. Cuts in. He shoots. Save there by Malo. Rebound opportunity for Aaron James. Couldn't quite collect it. Fan from the circle. Gets it to Brumbaugh in the slot. Blocked there by Marley. Going to be played by James. James down low to Brumbaugh. Brumbaugh gets it to Fan beneath the goal line. Stolen away by Titoian as the Tritons come the other way. 2-on-2 opportunity. Titoian, good block there by Aurelio. As Aaron James is going to come back the other way. James drops a pass off to Jacob James. Aaron James is going to play at the length of across the ice. Jesse Deegan able to keep it in, but not for long. Gerke going to get it out in the neutral ice. Here's Sean Miller for the Tritons. He steers it in towards Wilder. Jesse Deegan battling with Hunter Smith. Tyler Chapman. Chapman trying to come out with it. Taken away. Shot saved there by Wilder. Rebound opportunity out for Tartaglia. Body there by Aaron James. Back the other way. Here comes Tyler Chapman. Chapman going to get it up to Hunter Smith. Hunter Smith across the blue line. Tried to find Jacob James out front. Aaron James has been there and been out there quite a long time. Jacob James gets it across the ice to Tyler Chapman. Chapman trying to play it in. Chapman trying to find Pearson. Gerke going to play it off the glass into neutral ice. 1 minute left in the second period. 4-4 on the scoreboard. Glad you could join us from Bellingham, Washington here tonight. As the Vikings and the Tritons go at it for the second time here this weekend. That's going to be played off a stick of Kyler Slade in the Triton zone. That'll be whistled offsides. 49 seconds left in the second period. Shots 25-21 in favor of the Tritons. Face off won by the Tritons. They get it. Here comes Declan Quinn. Quinn across the blue line. Andrew Fan out there to take the draw. One last opportunity for the Vikings. Aurelio with a shot. Blockered away by Malo. Andrew Fan. That's going to be steered away by Lee, and that'll do it. So the Vikings open the scoring this period, courtesy of Andrew Fan, his 19th goal of the season, but 3 unanswered goals from the Tritons, from Gerke, Miller, and Sekaguchi, gave them the lead. But the Vikings were able to tie it. Brett Brumbaugh, his 20th of the season, has this game knotted at 4 after 40 minutes of play here from Bellingham Sportsplex. We'll be back in about 20 minutes from Bellingham Sportsplex. You're watching Vikings hockey on the Vikings YouTube channel.
What's your favorite band?
Ooh, favorite band? Secret, what's a good band?
Band? That's a hard question.
I know. Remember my AC/DC recently, bro. Getting back into that.
Motley Crue.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Ooh, I'd say Fleetwood Mac.
AC/DC?
Ariana Grande.
Camp.
Modest Mouse. Ooh. King Gibbs.
Motley Crue.
Metallica.
Favorite band? I have 2 favorite artists, Jake Paul and KSI.
I have to go with the Luminaires.
Chips it up to Declan Quinn. In on Loveland. Shot on goal. He scores! Declan Quinn! His second goal of the game. Gonzaga's zone. Chips it in. Battling with Julian Salactica. Here's Quinn. And a shot on goal! Declan Quinn has a hat trick. Looking for his fourth of the evening. Quinn. And Sawai keeps it in. Out front, Jackson Wojcicki, he scores! Jackson Wojcicki, his first goal of the season. And the Vikings have put up double digits. Down low to Wojcicki. Here's Bowers. 7 seconds left, and that'll do it. The Vikings get their 7th straight victory. 10-4. Here comes Brumbaugh. Shot on goal. He scores! Brett Brumbaugh goes for a skate. Andrew Fan. Here comes Aaron James. 3-on-1 opportunity. Fan over to Brumbaugh. Brumbaugh from the slide. He scores! Brett Brumbaugh, his second goal of the game, and the Vikings have extended their lead to 3-1. Bulldogs play it all the way down into the Vikings' end. Secord going to collect it for the Vikings. Go for a skate himself. Secord cutting in with his
favorite band?
Ooh, favorite band? Secret, what's a good band?
Band? That's a hard question.
I know. Remember my AC/DC recently, bro. Getting back into this.
Motley Crue.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Ooh, I'd say Fleetwood Mac.
AC/DC?
Ariana Grande.
Modest Mouse. Oh, King Giz.
Motley Crue.
Metallica.
Favorite band? I have two favorite artists, Jake Paul and KSI.
I have to go with the Lumineers.
We're back for the final period of play here between the Vikings and the Tritons. 4-4 after 2 periods. The Vikings in trouble. Feels like for the first time in a few games, here's Ethan Secord busting into the zone. Pataglia going to get it up to Sean Miller. Miller across the ice going to try to find somebody. Here's Aaron James in the zone. Takes a big body there from Dukakis. And back in. Here's Collender with it for the Tritons. Gets it up to Sean Miller. We're going to have a whistle here. Looks like it'll be offsides. Intentional offsides on the Vikings, so the faceoff will be all the way in the Viking zone. Shots 25-23 in favor of the Tritons. The faceoff won by the Vikings. Here's Nicholas Sawai. Going to reset behind the net. Get it up to Aaron James. Line one out there for the Vikings, trying to set the tone here in this third period, just like they did in the second period. Andrew Fan getting on the board. Tritons played all the way down, but that'll be played by Nicholas Sawai, and icing is the call. 18:59 left in the third period. Glad you could join us here from Bellingham Sportsplex. Vikings will be back home here tomorrow night against the Cal Berkeley Bears. First of 2 games here at Bellingham Sportsplex. Face-off will be to the left of Malo, beg your pardon. It's going to be stolen away by Jacob James. He plays it all the way around. Here's Patrick Pearson. Steers a guy into the boards. Jacob James, it's loose in the slot there. That's played back in to neutralize Tristan Lee. Going to be taken away by Fighter. That's going to be whistled dead on offsides. Tristan Lee. Offsides there for the Tritons. Here comes Ethan Secord to neutralize. He's going to chip it in. Gerke going to collect it. Here's who. Jacob James going to play it to Deegan. Back to Jacob James. James with a shot that hits a shin pad there. And here come the Tritons the other way, collected by Secord though. And he's going to play it all the way in. Going to be settled down by Malo. Played up to Marley. Bodied there by Declan Quinn. Deegan's going to play it over. Tyler Chapman going to chip it in. Gerke plays it around to Marley. Here comes Ethan Secord busting into the Triton zone. Taken by Hu. Cho Ting Hu. Shot from Kyler Sleddy from the right dot. Quinn tried to pass it to Hunter Smith. It goes all the way down. 17:28 left in the third period. Vikings won last night 5-1. Much tighter here tonight. Tritons looking for their first win in Pac 8 play this season. They get it up to Marley. Mad Marley, he slays it down into the Vikings' end. Stolen away by Miller. Miller gonna keep it in. Trying to swing it low to Sekaguchi, and the net is off. So it'll be blown dead. 16:46 left in the third period. A lot of relentless forechecking here from the Tritons. Face off won by the Vikings. Here's Ethan Secord with it. Secord going to go for a little bit of escape, but not for long, as that's going to be covered by Wilder. 16:36 left in the third. Face off won by the Vikings. They get it back into neutral ice. Here's Brett Brumbaugh. Aaron James and Andrew Fan try to corral it in the zone. Played by Brett Brumbaugh. Kept in at the blue line. Here's Brumbaugh. Drops it off to Andrew Fan. Fan from the right circle. Saved there by Malo. Andrew Fan going to drop it off. Here's Sawai. Shoots it. Sails wide. Collected by Secord. Going to get it down low. Brumbaugh couldn't find anybody, and it's going to be played back in neutral ice. Andrew Fan fades a bit of a check there. Fan shot on goal. Saved there by Malo. Readout out front. Good opportunity by Aaron James, and we got pushing and shoving behind the play. So it'll be 4-on-4 for the next 2 minutes. Sean Miller and Aaron James in the box. And here is Jacob James. So the Vikings start with it in the Triton zone. Deegan trying to pass it to Chapman. Back the other way comes Fighter. Stolen away by Deegan. Deegan comes in, drops a pass off to James. Here's Chapman, shot on goal, sails wide. Good opportunity there for the Vikings to get on the board in this third period. Here comes Fighter the other way. Gets it to Sekaguchi, who has a goal here tonight. Gave the Tritons the lead in the second period. Here's Collender. Collender keeps it in the Viking zone. Trying to find Sekaguchi out front. Sekaguchi with it in the left circle. Vikings kind of lose it there. Fortunately, Aurelio able to play it off all the way down. No icing. It's going to be collected by Dukakis for the Tritons. Plays it back into neutral ice. Here's Cooper Hunter-Smith. Couldn't quite get it to Secord cleanly. Secord gets it up to Pearson. And here comes Pearson. He had the opening goal here tonight. Pearson battling with Webster. It's going to be played by Dukakis. Peter Dukakis, the captain, or not the captain, the president of the team for the Tritons. Here's Secord. Fades a bit of a check there. Secord. It's going to be collected by Tatoian. Loose behind the play. Here's Harrison Webster in the slide. He scores! Harrison Webster! It is 5-4 Vikings. Harrison Webster. What a play there. His second goal of the season. Makes it 5-4 Western with 13:54 left in the third period. Webster is the waffle man here tonight, so if he scores another goal, everybody gets a coupon to Sweetest Waffles. Here's Fighter trying to play it out front. Line one out there for the Vikings, trying to extend the lead. Shot on water, he sees it all the way. Shots 28-27 in favor of the Vikings. Harrison Webster, what a play there. Good play by Jesse Deegan to keep it in the zone. Face off won by the Tritons. Here's Collender to Miller. Tartaglia, good body there by Andrew Fan. Here comes Aaron James busting into the zone. Tried to collect a loose puck. He goes hard into the wall. Got to be careful there. And we're going to get a penalty on the Vikings. Tartaglia, delayed penalty. Here's Miller with it. And that's going to be touched up by the Vikings. 13:01 left in the third period. The Tritons will go to the power play. Looks like they'll get Andrew Fan for interference or high sticking.
Vikings penalty number 17, 2 minutes for high sticking. Time of the penalty 13:01.
Fan with 55 points in 14 games this season, leads all ACHA divisions in points. Here's Sean Miller. Miller from the high slot, looking around. Gets it to Tatoian. Miller, each of them have goals here. Here's Tatoian from the left circle. Tried to find DeFreitas. Down low to DeFreitas. for the Tritons. Good pressure there by Cooper Hunter-Smith. Tataglia gets it to Tatoian. Tatoian over to Miller from the right circle. Gets it to Tatoian. Over to DeFreitas. DeFreitas trying to pass it out front. Still loose behind the net, collected by DeFreitas. Logan DeFreitas get it up to Tatoian. Back over to Logan DeFreitas. Out front, loose there. Steered away by Ethan Secord. Here's Tartaglia. A minute left in the power play. Tartaglia gets it to DeFreitas. He walks in. Tries to get a tip there, and out into neutral ice come the Vikings. Good clear there for the Vikings as they get a change. Fresh set of bodies. Good pressure here from Kyler Slate. Going to be played by Chris Fider. Tatoian looking for an option. He gets it up in across neutral ice. Nicholas Sawai looking for some help. Gets it to Tatoian. Tatoian finds Sekaguchi. He scores! Saku Sekaguchi, his second goal of the night. And this game is tied up yet again. It is 5-5. Five to 5 for the Vikings. Here comes Andrew Pham busting in the zone. Pham with a shot, blocked away by Malo. Can be played off the glass and out into neutral ice. Vikings looking to regain the lead here. 11 minutes left in the third period. Here's Secord, just going to play it into the corner for Andrew Pham. Pham out front to Pearson. He scores! Patrick Pearson, his second goal of the night. And the Vikings regain the lead. It is 6-5. Patrick Pearson, his second goal of the night, his 7th of the season. Pearson had the Teddy Bear Tots goal to open this one, and he gets the Vikings the lead yet again. It is 6-5. He's looking for another one here. Pearson looks like he's replacing Aaron James on the first line. And here come the Tritons the other way. Steered away by Secord. Brumbaugh gonna play it up. Brumbaugh trying to find Fan. Tyler Chapman. Chapman making a little bit of a move here. Trying to find Secord in the slot. Secord trying to pass it down low to Brumbaugh. Secord steers it all the way in. Here's Grebe with it for the Tritons. He gets it up. Played by Hunter Smith. Jacob James going to steer it all the way in. Here's Harrison Webster. He plays it out to Chapman. He scores! Tyler Chapman, his second of the night. Good pass there from Harrison Webster. Sends the Vikings lead. It is 7-5. 3 unanswered goals here. Or sorry, 2 unanswered goals for the Vikings. The Tritons take a timeout. We'll take a timeout ourselves. 7-5 Vikings. You're watching the Vikings on the Vikings YouTube channel. We're back live here. Vikings extend their lead. It is 7-5. Goals courtesy of Pearson and Chapman. Give them the lead. It's going to be collected by Antonio Aurelio. He gets it over to Harrison Webster. Webster cuts in, shot on goal. He goes bar down. It looked like it went in. It did not go in. So close to giving everybody a coupon to Sweetest Waffles here tonight. It absolutely looked like it went in. Here's Sean Miller. And we're going to get a penalty here on the Vikings. It's going to go against Nicholas Sawai. He's going to get called for a slash. So the Vikings will go to the PK with 9:03 left in the third period.
Vikings penalty, number 15, 2 minutes for holding. Time of
Play back into neutral ice. Here's Aaron James. He's back on the ice. It's going to be played there. The other way, here comes the Freitas. Shot on Wilder by Marley, and that's going to be covered. With 8:44 left in the third period. This game has been truly bananas. Back and forth thus far. Face-off won by the Vikings. Gotten up to DeFreitas. He played back into neutral ice. Tatoian into the Viking zone. Tatoian with the shot that sails wide. Triton's pressuring, trying to get back into this one. Here's Tatoian from the slot. Creeps in, looking for an option. Goes around the net. Vikings kind of chasing here. DeFreitas, and that's back into neutral ice. Here's Ethan Secord. Tatoian going to recollect it. Skate across the blue line. Here's Tatoian in towards the goal. And Andrew Fann's just going to clear it all the way down. 53 seconds left in the PK for the Vikings. They're able to get a full change. Reset here. Logan DeFreitas. As Tristan Lee takes a bit of a tumble. Dropped off to Sean Miller. Miller with a goal here tonight. 2 goals here this weekend. Dropped off to Gierke. Gierke with a shot that sails wide. Gierke. Tumble and back into the Triton zone. Gierke with it. Gonna reset. 7:08 left in the third period. Glad you could join us from beautiful Bellingham Sportsplex. The second of 2 here this weekend between the Tritons and the Vikings. One second left in the PK for the Vikings, and out of the box is Nick Sawai. So back to full strength. Here's Tyler Chapman with it in the Triton zone. Looking to make a move. Aurelio able to keep it in. Good job there keeping his bounce. But not for long. Here comes Miller. Across the blue line. Aurelio steers him away. Checks him off the puck. Here's Marley. Back the other way, here comes Jacob James. Going to get it to Cooper Hunter-Smith. Hunter-Smith across the blue line. Tried to chip it towards the goal. Here's Lete. Down low behind the net is Tyler Chapman. Chapman drops it off to Lete. Back the other way, here comes Marley. 3-on-2 opportunity for the Tritons. Marley. Gonna get it to Collender. Collender from the circle. He scores. 7-6 Vikings. Eric Collender. The score is 7-6. And down behind the play is there's an injured Triton. We have an injury behind the play. Injured Triton behind the play was Zhou Ding Hu. Kyler Saute out there to take the draw for the Vikings as they get a full change. Saute, Ethan Secord, and Saute swings it behind the net. Down low to Pearson. They try to get it back into neutral ice. Here is Declan Quinn. Quinn chips it in. Collender, who has the most recent goal for the Tritons. Played back out, all the way down. Cooper Hunter Smith gonna collect it for the Vikings. Hunter Smith. Gonna get it up here, Slate. Shot tipped there by Tristan Lee. There's Collender with a shot. Rebound, took a bit of an adventurous hop there, and that's back out into neutral ice. Here comes Patrick Pearson hustling on. And Slate plays it all the way into the corner. Vikings able to get a change. First line out there for the Vikings. Sawai gonna chip it all the way in. Towards Collender. Andrew Fan trying to pass it to Brett Brumbaugh. Nicholas Sawai drops it to Deegan, and Deegan plays it all the way in. With 4:30 left in the third period, the Vikings just trying to hang on, get these 2 points, and worry about the Cal Berkeley Bears tomorrow. Here's Jesse Deegan. Gets it to Nicholas Sawai, gets stick there by Tartaglia. The Vikings just getting relentless forechecking here from the Tritons. Getting hard to move the puck out here. Make clean passes. Tartaglia takes a bit of a tumble. Here comes Andrew Fan. He's going to go for a bit of a skate. Fan across the blue line. Big body there by Andrew Fan. Here's Sean Miller. He plays it up to Tartaglia. Good stick there by Cooper Hunter Smith. Kept in by Brumbaugh. Here's James. Aaron James back on the ice. Ethan Secord, here he comes. Shot on goal. He scores! Ethan Secord extends the Vikings lead. It is 8-6. 3:34 left in the third period. A lot of crossbar action tonight. First it was Patrick Pearson getting the teddy bear toss goal. He went bar down, and then it looked like Harrison Webster went bar down. They whistled no goal, but from my vantage point, it definitely looked like it went in. And then just now, here's Tyler Chapman, shot on goal. Ethan Secord went bar down. Here's Jacob James. Gets it back to Secord. The Vikings try to preserve this lead. Chapman gets it to Pearson in the slot. Pearson looking for the hat trick. That's played out of play by Gierke. We get a whistle. 2:54 left in the third period. Shots 32-31 in favor of the Vikings. Vikings will be back here tomorrow night at 5 o'clock against the Cal Berkeley Bears. Here's Declan Quinn out there to take the draw. Declan Quinn. Ethan Secord going to play it all the way around. To Jackson Marley. Good body there by Kyler Slate. He's going to play it in. Hunter Smith shot. Blocked away by Marlowe. Broken stick for Jackson Marley. He gets off. That's going to go all the way down. Here's Tristan Lee. Swings it on goal. We're going to have a penalty behind the play on Ethan Secord. They're going to call him for an elbow. 2:27 left in the third period. Tritons looking to get back in this game. It's golden opportunity for them. Vikings have Aaron James and Andrew Fan out there. 2:27 left. Face-off will be to the right, the left of Jack Wilder. It's going to be played by Tataglia for the Tritons. They're going to call so Harrison Webster's in the box. They gave Ethan Secord, looks like a 10-minute misconduct. So his night is done. .33 shots for the Vikings here tonight. Not a lot in terms of volume, but they're making it work. Tied up. Here's Aaron James. James going to play back into neutral ice. Going to be played by Peter Dukakis. Nicholas Sawai going to play at the length of the ice on Malo. We'll see if the Tritons decide to pull Malo. Matthew Malo here in a few minutes. Or they've decided to pull him now. Tristan Lee stays out there. Here's Tatoian in the slot. Lee, good pad stop there from Wilder. That's going to be played off the glass and out. Here's Aaron James. Going to be dropped off to Miller. So, looks like there's not really any signaling from the Tritons bench. He's going to stay put. Malo's going to come off now. Tatoian. Too many. 6 on 5. 6 men on the ice there. The Tritons got away with it. Cooper Hunter-Smith going to get it up to Brett Brumbaugh in the Triton zone. It's going to be played by Tatoian. Here comes Alex Tatoian. Going to drop it off to Miller. Miller with the shot. Saved there by Wilder. Rebound up to Collender at the left point. Gets it to Miller. Miller going to go down low to Tataglia. 50 seconds left in the game here. Here's Tatoian. Gets it over to Collender with a tip out front. Hunter Smith going to play it around. Tatoian. Over to Collender. Collender with a shot. Tipped out front. Couldn't quite get it in. Here's James. Tatoian. Back to Miller. Over to Collender. Out of the box is Webster. It's loose in the crease. And sails wide of Webster. 19 seconds left. Shot from Miller that sails off the net. Deegan battling down there. 12 seconds left. Over to Tatoian from the point. Blocked by Webster. That's going to go. Out in the neutral ice, Webster. Brumbach couldn't quite get it, but that will do it. Western gets their 12th straight win. 8-6 is the final here tonight. Good action all around. Goals from Patrick Pearson, Tyler Chapman, Andrew Fan, Brett Brumbaugh, Harrison Webster, Pearson again, and Tyler Chapman again. Good performance from Jack Wilder. He wasn't perfect, but it's what the Vikings needed here tonight. We'll be back here tomorrow night, 5 o'clock, as the Vikings will take on the Cal Berkeley Bears. From Jackie Hopkins and Bianca Fina, I'm Cameron Riggers up top, Bellingham Sportsplex. We'll see you tomorrow night. Good night, everybody.